Hi all, I thought it'd be fun to sit down with you all and talk about my trimming career, how many cars I've done, yards of material, feet of cotton, and some of my highlights and lowlights. Over the years I've been trimming, well, I've taken an interest in trimming since I was 13. I used to pedal home from school, go into my dad's workshop on after school in evenings or weekends, and the first car I ever worked on was an Austin Allegro. And my boss then, Nick Artusa, whose son works for me now, he would never let me use a sewing machine because it was dangerous and a needle was thumping by my fingers, and he didn't need a young lad getting in the way or going to casualty. So he let me use a staple gun. So I remember cutting the carpets out and I stapled the carpet binding, the edging to it. And this was a polyester foam back carpet that when you glued it, it all shrunk. And I did an Austin Allegro, was my first ever retrim, with a carpet that was the offcuts from my bedroom, which was a blue polyester with yellow and red lightning strikes all the way through it. It was vile. Probably only ever sold it to me and no one else, that carpet shop, and I'm sure it's out of business now. And that was the first car I ever trimmed, and it failed its MOT for improper use of fiberglass. Second car I trimmed was a Simca bath with a double bubble roof, and I remember probably fighting my way through that whole interior. We did it in black vinyl, and in those days, if you asked me, I'd tell you 99% of trimming was getting yourself out of the. It's not like that now, but that's how I felt at the time, where you make a mistake, you cut the wrong side of the line, and I remember that car fought me, and I've never seen it again. It's a silver Simca bath with an Italian flag over the top. So if you're out there, come and say hello. They were the first two cars I've ever trimmed. Some of my favourites, and I feel very fortunate and lucky. Yeah, we're good at what we do here, but it's wonderful. So, you know, I am sort of wary people. There are trimmers out there that never get to trim a Ferrari, you know, so I'm mindful of that. And we're very lucky. We've had a brief countdown since I was a young lad, how many cars I've trimmed over the years, and we reckon it's around 400. Miles of cotton is around 500,000, and we've done that by how many spools we averagely use on a car, timed by how many cars, and we won't go into cowhides, that will be a step too far, but there's a lot, and vinyl, and corduroy, and carpet. My favourite cars of all time that stick out from my mind, I'm trimming a 288 GTO at the moment. That's a Ferrari from the 80s. That's a fabulous car to trim. Lots of beautiful curves on that. And some real signature moves on the interior, from thin piping and vinyl and leather being used together. So doing a 288 GTO is a fantastic car. For complexity, Lamborghini Miura, there's so many little mini bits with double stitchings that all meet up together. That's a complex car. And a good trim is to make a car look simple from the outside, so nothing stands out at you thinking that's a bit hairy. It's a really tricky car, difficult car, lots of complex shapes and stitching, but it has to look simple and harmonious, and that's a real trick to getting those right. A highlight car would be a Ferrari 250 GTO. I've done two of those now, and I've done one of the very famous ones that left the factory with a leather interior, well, a Graber interior. And that got packaged up nice, and the customer who we did it for took some of the leather and they made beautiful wallets from it, and some nice keepsakes that we have. Another great project we were involved in was a cross Weight and Gardner restoration and a remake of the Dymaxion that was made in the 1930s. There are 3 cars originally made, only one survived, and we made one for Norman Foster, and we restored the original one. So please look up that on YouTube. It's called the Dymaxion. Fantastic car to be involved in. Lots of research, and we learned tons doing that. That's a highlight car. Another one was at Autia Union, which was also a Crossweight and Gardner remake of a car that was only drawn but never made in real life back in the 30s. It was a fantastic 16-cylinder, twin supercharged, 3-seater, the first car I know of with centre steering. That's a crazy, crazy car. And I love doing Mercedes Gullwings. There's certain cars, if I didn't have to pay for my overheads and the staff around me, I'd just do them for free. The interior of my Type 34 Carman Gear Razor Edge was a car I loved to trim. When I was deep in the metalwork, I just go to bed at night dreaming of driving it, what it could look like. And at the time I didn't know my colours, it was a faraway dream. And every time I drive it, I just feel like, wow, I've done that, that's great. And the gift is driving it or putting smiles on other people's faces. And I've done it nice greens and creams inside, and it's a beautiful gold, greeny gold on the outside. And I've thoroughly enjoyed doing the interior on that car because I was let off the lead. I didn't have to obey any rules of originality, how many stitches per square inch there were. My brain was my freedom, and I've probably over detailed it because I've really gone to town and I've loved doing it. And the headrests are quite cool. I haven't seen them on any other car, but I literally got a cardboard box, drew around my massive head and really big ear holes, and then had to scale it down. And I've made some fantastic headrests in there. And the seats, I took the inspiration off a 300 SL Gullwing. And where the seats are pleated, I've taken mine one step further and put even more detail in. And the whole car gives me joy. And I think, like my kids, they put their head in there. They don't appreciate all the hours and the work and effort that went into that. If you had to put a price on that interior, I wouldn't. It's I could tell you how many hours that went into it. I'd have to look in my diary and have a recount, but hundreds and hundreds. And I set out to do the most complicated steering wheel in the world, which we'll drop a photo in. And it got so complicated, I wanted to do a steering wheel that no one else could do. And in the end, I'd done that, and it was just too complicated. It didn't work within my eyesight. The parameters of my imagination went a bit out. And I just did a very nice simple steering wheel after that. Which I'll drop a photo in. And my steering wheel has got no stitch line. Normally you stretch material around and have a stitch line in the bottom of it, and I've managed to do mine without that. Not a lot of people notice that, but I do. Yeah, where we're very gifted at O'Rourke Coachtrimmers, and I only play a small part in that, I've got a fantastic team around me, which we'll meet on a walk around, is the fact that we can do pre-war, the horsehair side of stuffing flutes and how they go about building their interiors, right up to the modern water paste glues, different neoprene foams, and so we've got our feet in all the camps, and we're one of the rare companies, I say, that absolutely builds interiors. So we manufacture foot rubbers, plastic knobs, seat frames, foam mould-ins, and we can build a complete car from the ground up, from door panels to dashboards, steering wheels. We get involved in all of it. And there's a lot we can't harp on as well, because a great part of our business is making interiors look old. So if you've got a well-kept car, but the interior is modern, we can manufacture an interior that looks beaten and worn. So absolutely, I love confusing bobble hats. It's one of my favourite pastimes. So I love people saying, oh, look at this interior, it's all original. And I think, oh, that was fresh through my machine 2 weeks ago. We've done some fabulous cars, and we don't put them on our website, and we keep our hat down on that one. But to wrap up this video, my favourite interior ever, I actually don't have one, you know, I love them all. So sorry for wasting your time. Ciao.